Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Antoinette here. So I promised I'd show you the things that I decided to chuck onto my birthday list and then use the money that I got accumulatively to purchase these items. I wasn't going to do this, and then I think, like I said, I was feeling a bit sorry for myself. I'd had too many weeks of illness, and I decided that I wasn't going to be a grown-up and buy grown-up clothing. I was actually just going to treat myself to those items on the wish list. And then this is what happened, because otherwise I was not planning on purchasing. So I'll start with some early gifts and items. So the Oracle of the Rose was something I hadn't seen, wasn't aware of. Rochelle on Amethyst Ascension showed it, and I fell in love with it, and so I rushed over to purchase this. So this was an unexpected purchase, and quite a considerable purchase, I would say, as well. So it's from Etsy, and it is by Zera DeRose. I've done a walkthrough of this. I had a look last night, and from what I could see, the deck had sold out again. So I think she might be having some more decks coming in. So if you want it, it might be worth just keeping an eye out for this one. So that was an early arrival, early birthday treat to myself, an unexpected one, to be fair. And I absolutely love it. And the cards are a lovely cardstock, but this is rose petal top box. This is one that's been in and out of my baskets wish list because I was never sure what to do with it. So it's, as you can see, it's the Sun card, tarot bag. It is a gorgeous velour. It has a sun charm on it and a tassel. It's a zip bag. Can be used as anything you want, really. Pencil case, makeup bag. In here I currently have a tinned version of a deck and a playing card deck in there. So it fits those quite nicely. It would fit probably, yeah, it'd still probably fit 2 decks of this size in here as well, and it would definitely take an oracle off the top of my head. Just see what we've got to hand. Oh, hopefully that doesn't all, yeah, it's going to fall. I'll just keep a hand there. So it would fit those 2 decks in there without too much effort. Okay, just prop all that back up before it falls on top of me. So those early treats arrived, and then a very kind lady sent me this one as a gift off my wish list. So I was over the moon when this arrived. I had no idea. It was a beautiful, beautiful surprise, and it is an art reference book, visual source material for the modern mystic, and it's just full of beauty, exactly what it says, source reference, pictures based on the occult, the esoteric, you know, the unknown, myths, images that are said to be shrouded in hidden symbolism. And it's just gorgeous, like for something to look at, a table book, anything. This book is, this is the sort of thing I like. So these weird, wonderful, surreal sort of pictures, paintings, artwork. And obviously they're not all just surreal, but just the way that the images are put together, the little bits of information that you get in here as well to give you an understanding of what you're looking at. And I know I'm not doing it full justice here, but just, you know, the images in general, visual representation to give you inspiration. Definitely do a bibliomancy with this book, I would say. It's just lovely to flip through and look at every so often, and then read the information and learn something. So I'm very, very grateful. You know who you are, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for this beautiful book. You chose well. So that was a wonderful, although I don't think it was intended to be a birthday present, it arrived last month. That's what I put it down as, a beautiful birthday gift. Things that I did buy. Right, so first up, I purchased incorrectly. So I thought this was a deck. In fact, I specifically sought this out from a different supplier because it did say 78 cards, and I think it was Abe Books, and I've had that before where I went there and it was the deck, not the book. whereas sellers like on Amazon only had the book. So I ordered it at the higher price thinking I was going to get both, and it arrived the next day and I was kind of thrown. I wasn't sure because it had a gift card inside. It didn't have my order number inside. It was a gift card saying gift to me, and I had just popped this book onto my wish list. So I was a bit confused and I thought it was a gift that had been sent out to me. I don't think I kept the gift card in the end. And then I got a notification the other day from Abe Books to say that my parcel had been delivered. And I was like, well, it hasn't. I'm still waiting. And then I kind of put two and two together and realised that they had processed my order through Amazon. This came from Amazon. And so here is my deck. Luckily, it wasn't too much more than I would have paid for the book anyway. But still a bit frustrated with that. So if you do buy from Amazon, know that it's only the book, because the decks, you need to go to Christine Payne-Towler's website to purchase, which is what I have done. I've purchased a deck, and again, that was no mean feat, because they're not, of course, they're coming from America, so you've got postage and everything else that comes with it, so it makes it really not a easy purchase. It's a considered purchase, but I've been hankering after this deck for 3 years. And so I've pulled the plug, and this is a gorgeous book. So if you don't want the deck because you don't understand the artwork, this book, however, does have some amazing information and insight and alchemy information inside that you can use as a reference book anyway on your shelf. So I would recommend it as a good reference book if you felt the need to get this. But when I get the deck, hopefully I'll, if I remember, I'll go through and do a flip through of it. It works a bit different to normal tarot. So that's one thing to be aware of. So Christine has her own mathematical equation, if you like, for how she looks at tarot and how she splits the suits and things and how she numbers them. So if you're doing the deck and walk, the cards are associated differently in here as they are to the Golden Dawn RWS Modern Tarot system. If that makes any sense. I hope that makes sense. I can't see, is that her equation? I think that's part of her equation there. Anyway, there's a few pages in here where she explains why this wouldn't match your normal tarot system. So that one to myself. And then with the accumulated birthday money, I got quite a few items. So this one, because it's been on my list for a long time, so I specifically bumped it up my list onto my special birthday list. So Madame Pamita's Slavic Magic from the Witch of the Woods, Baba Yaga's Book of Witchcraft. This is a lovely book. I've flicked through it, stopped on a couple of chapters and read them. I cannot pronounce these words. I have this because I wanted to, it was as close as I could get to something in practice that might be similar to my heritage from northeastern Europe. So that's why I specifically have bought this, because there are patterns and things in here that are similar, not the same but similar, and the usage would be therefore similar. So she has cross-stitch patterns in here. They all have their own meanings and associations. She talks you through them all, specifically for, of course, this is, you know, Slavic, making pockets, and I suppose the other word would be, I remember calling them corn dollies in my nan's house, but she would have a doll in national dress on the fireplace, and she used to make them. So there's lots of stories, lots of chapters. It's split up into all sorts of different areas. Talks about spirits of the lake and things. So I'm quite looking forward to slowly having a dip in and dip out of this book. This isn't just going to be like a straightforward read. Powers and places. The magic of Zelma Sfatya. Mati, is it? Mother Earth. So yeah, so I'm quite looking forward to this, and who knows, I might even see if I can incorporate some of those cross stitches, and it tells you how to incorporate magic and things into them as well. So Baba Yaga's Book of Witchcraft. Okay, Giselle has a lot to answer for, and she made me do this, so Mad Witch and is it Corrigan Crone on Instagram, possibly. Both have featured this book by Malcolm Bird, completely out of print, and because it's called the Witches Handbook and it's got recipes and things in it, it goes for a ridiculous amount of money. One came up secondhand and I purchased it instantly because it was the price of what should be a secondhand book within reason. And it got to the day before it should have been delivered. It was on a 3-week wait. So I ordered this on like the 1st of May or something stupid. Got to the 23rd of May and I got a notification to say that it wasn't coming. And then I noticed that the seller had removed it from sale and it looked like it had been put back up for sale at a different price. So I think they'd realised their mistake. So this was a lot of money and there was more on sale for twice the price and then some. And what I'm going to say before I open the book is this book is not worth the money that it's now going for over and above. It probably isn't worth what I paid for this, but it was birthday treats. You know, when you're doing birthday treats, you kind of, I don't know, somehow you allow, oh, it's my birthday, that's okay. I know it's more than I would ever spend on something. So I was in that space with this book. And because I'd lost the one that I'd ordered, again, I was even more kind of in the FOMO phase of, oh my God, I'm purchasing it. So this is, you know, what's in here. It is aimed at children, of course, or maybe teenagers. It's fun, it's tongue-in-cheek. It has, it's just beautifully illustrated. When you start reading through the things that are in here, it's hilarious. So you have the knee bones recipe in here. We've got dust bread biscuits. It does get your whole like inner child creative thing going. We've got, what were these? Flies with raisins and almond flakes. Now, I have to admit, I am quite tempted to make those for Halloween. So there are things in here, worm soup, poison pie, and they're all edible, of course. So you've got recipes in there. Then there's like how to keep a witch's garden, herbs. So you've got your knit bone. I don't know what knit bone is. A leaf will draw out a splinter of the wood from the skin, and a poultice made from the root will set broken bones and ease painful joints. Knit bone. I'm going to have to look that up. I don't know what that one is. Soapwort, equally. Sage, yes. Herby grass. Herby grass. No, so I'm going to have to look that up as well. Balm, fennel, myrtle, mugwort, yes, I've heard of those. So, yeah. If you've got money and you like the look of this and you're not concerned about the price, then by all means, go ahead. If, you know, the price is considered and you're not sure what you're getting for the price, because I hadn't honestly realised it was only a 96-page book in total, start to finish, I might have been a bit more considerate about whether or not I bought this and probably taken it off my wish list altogether. So we've got Witches' birthdays. Friday's Witch bakes poisoned pies. I think I was born on a Friday. Interesting. However, my birthday this year was on a Saturday, and Saturday's Witch has evil eyes. I probably did because I was so ill. I wasn't up for much, so I was probably a bit grumpy about everything going on around me that day. But yeah, Monday's Witch is foul of face. I think we know the other version of the rhyme, don't we? So we've got lots of things to do. I'm very pleased to see that somebody hasn't drawn all over it. But because it's so old, this is like from the 1980s. It's battered and bruised because it's a paperback, but the pages inside are in good condition. It has that library type smell to it. It's quite a pungent book smell. Not something I've noticed for years, because obviously when your books are new, you don't get that smell. So it was quite interesting. The whole thing was an interesting experience to get this book, kind of the realisation, the expense of it, and then yeah, back to your inner child and having fun with it. Now, of course, if this was a problem, I would have sent it back and got a refund, but I do like it. So you've got knitting patterns, and I have seen somebody talking about making this into a quilt cover pattern as well. I've got mittens, hats, this one, there we go, making a cross-stitch quilt cover. So for the cross-stitch fans out there, We've got tea cozies. So plenty of great things. That's one cross stitch. One square represents 4 holes in the canvas. Broomstick or cushions. Festivities. So having a Halloween banquet. What do we have here? Crack the mirror. Each witch must try to crack as many mirrors as possible by staring into them. This game can be a very expensive game to play. Imagine if you did crack a mirror by staring into it. Then we have our worldwide witches. There's your typical British witch. Canada. Finland. France. She looks a bit like a one from Snow White. Sweden. Christmas and spooky grottos. Again, we've got some festive food ideas. The modern witch. The early era of computers. Look at that computer. So suitable jobs for the modern witch might be things like being an air stewardess, keep fit instructor, receptionist, shop assistant, teacher, waitress, usherette, tour guide, traffic warden, telephonist. Oh yeah, traffic warden. I always think that'd be a great job to have. Yeah, so that is the book. So I hope you, for those of you who've been curious about this book, that gives you something to think about. Should you decide to go out and pay the, what I personally think is excessive prices for it. I don't think it's worth, as a second-hand collector's item, I don't think it's worth more than about £40. I did pay over £40 for this, but not a lot more. But I do not think it's worth the 80 plus price points that are currently out there. So be aware when you buy this one. Right, oh, I treated, so on my list I dropped in some Tombow markers because I only have 2. So I got a box of 12, found them at a really good price and stuck them onto my wish list. And then here we have the colours that came out of there. I don't know why I did brown twice. But what I've got here is, so this is 2 goes with a marker, this is 1 go with a marker, and then that's the fine tip because they're double-ended. And then that's the colours that I got in this box. So this is called the primary colours from Tombow. I think it made them about £1 a piece because I think this was maybe £12.99 for all 12. That's how good the deal was. So that's why that one came into my life, because otherwise they're like £22, aren't they, plus. So yeah, so I got that one. And there is a second box which is pastel colours, so I don't have that one. I'll maybe put that on my Christmas list or something. So I got treated to one of those. The Samiramay tarot is a treat. I have already edged these decks, so it comes with a little book. Now this you will see around, just to let you know, you will see this around in different sizes from different people. And what it looks like has happened. The artist, can't remember her name, has a license for the deck. So you can buy the PDF to the images and the license to reproduce the deck for £100. Now I'm seeing this with a lot of artists now producing stuff, or mass producing, or using images and then touching them up, and then they sell the license on for people that want to just use it to create decks. So I think that's why we're seeing it in different formats. So I've seen it without the pasty, what I call pasty crimped edge border, just black borders, and I've seen it this way, and I've seen it with white borders. So I think from what I could see, that's what's going on, because obviously they do have barcodes, do have guidebooks, so it's not, and the shop selling it hasn't been reported, so the shop does seem to have license to it. So and there's more than one shop, by the way, out there selling this deck. I know it's also on Make Playing Cards. So these ones are the black backs with sort of images on the back. They're very small. I don't know what you call that again. Is that what you call a poker size card, playing card size, typical playing card size? And so I bring you down so I don't make you sick. And this is the one that often you see around and everyone's like, oh, what deck is that? It's a numbers or a pip deck. can you call that a pip deck? Yeah, you can, because it's numbers. So if you don't like decks like that, then this probably isn't the one for you. It's one, again, that I've been looking at for years. Dalston Fabrics do this deck on fabric, which I've also been looking at for years, wondering if I should buy the fabric to make a bag one day. But now I have the deck. So we shall see. The tuck box, it fits in quite nicely. So I don't have an issue with the tuck box. It's a nice small size, pocket size, which is about, you know, my favourite size of deck. So I just really quite like this deck, have done for years, and now I have it. It shuffles really nicely. It's on a good cardstock. It is sort of slippery. And so this is the one for my collection. Now, the only thing I would say is that the guidebook does not tell me, and I've looked in a couple of places for downloads as well, where you can download PDFs on this deck. It doesn't tell me what these sigils or runes or combined, you know, doesn't tell me what these mean. It tells us about the other glyphs on the card, but not these ones. So if anyone knows, because obviously I'm working with a deck that someone's put together, and the majors have these personal sigils on. I can see that's probably a combined, maybe like Emperor, Empress, perhaps energy, but I'm not 100% sure, if that makes sense. So it just looks like things have been combined, and we've got that one there as well. So I would really be quite curious if anyone can highlight those. I think it's only the majors, actually. Perhaps not the strength. Yeah, so he's got one there. Guessing that's Mercury, or meant to be a symbol of Mercury, but then he's got them there. So, and she's holding hers from the High Priestess. One on the tattoo on the wrist. So if anyone knows what they are, or can give me the list for each card, I would be truly grateful. Because, yeah, I'm curious. Working with a deck that's got somebody else's sigils and runes on, it does make you wonder, doesn't it? Because, you know, we always say you shouldn't use them unless you know what they mean and all these business. So I would just like to know what they are. Curiosity. I don't know at the moment, you know, we use them, but it's just nice to know what you got. So the Samiramay, Rami, I'll keep you down. I'll have to bring it out a bit, actually. So the Wilder Ones Oracle by Sharon McLeod. Love this deck. This deck has the most beautiful backs ever. She says, opening up the deck wrong way around. So it comes in a gorgeous tuck box. Really good production. It is a... is this one Blue Angel? Yeah, so it's a Blue Angel production. Comes with a guidebook, but not your average guidebook. A lovely thin paper guidebook. It's an instruction booklet rather than a guidebook. So we have the copyright information in here, the welcome, reading with the deck, the details, and then symbols. So it talks about the symbols in the card. So if symbols in particular repeat across a couple of cards or stand out for you in a card, you can come and look up that particular symbol to make sure you're reading the symbol correctly. But then the cards have what they mean on them. So you shouldn't need to do much more. And again, you've got your colours there as well. So the colours are standing out. Information there from Sharon McLeod. And then there's some of the decks from Blue Angel Publishing in the back. So that's that. Now these are the backs. So you might recognise the backs already. Aren't they beautiful? Got this gold foiling on them. Just to highlight details. But just beautiful backs. Beautiful, beautiful. And I did attempt to edge it, but it came out like a neon colour. I thought it was going to be a dusky rose pink. It's come out sort of neon orange. So I'll have to rethink my edging colour. Or I go with a darker colour, or perhaps a red, or maybe a maroon to cover it up. Well, I shall see. And these are the cards. And they are just gorgeous. So we have an honest and unique offering is appreciated. I adore my differences. And then we have they make me one of a kind. So it just gives you what you need for the card. Stride into a dreamt future with graceful purpose. My soul is at ease and love fills my heart. But isn't she magnificent? Look at her. where she's walking forward. She's got that whole Spanish dancer to her as well, hasn't she? With her swishing skirt. But just the detail in the cards. I mean, in her hair, the sunflowers, the mushrooms, the little owl sat on her shoulder, all the stars on her shoulders and flowers. Just, yeah, amazing. So this deck is one, like I said, I've been watching it for a month or two, put it onto my list because I knew that I could then savour the fact that I knew I was probably going to get it. So this is this one. I don't know if you need me to, there's so many of these on YouTube that's been walked through, so I just don't know that you need me to walk through all the cards, but I think it's gorgeous. And it's nice white space. This would go really nicely with one of the or a couple of the Shiloh Thompson tarot decks, I think, with all the white space. Love that one. And I think I've talked about this in the past. This one reminds me of cards in it. Remind me of cards in the tarot. So sometimes like the Empress type feeling with all the stars and the crowns and the horns and all the stuff going on around her. The High Priestess, perhaps. Maybe the Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups. Perhaps the Magician, you know. So there's so many things in here that remind me of some like information. Oh, you know what I mean. Pollinating abundance, polluting. So I think it's a lovely deck. The images are gorgeous. Happy I've got it. It currently sits on my dining table, so if I'm sat and I just want to pull a card, that's what I do with this one at the moment. I do have like some diversity in the deck. We have males in the deck. If I haven't already, no, I haven't pointed them out yet, have I? There are some animals in the deck, but I think it's just great. So that is the Oracle of the Wilder Ones by Sharon McLeod, available on Etsy and other places. Make sure you get the ones that have the barcode, so make sure you get the actual person's ones because lots of these are being copied, so make sure you get the right ones. And then we got this one. So a Taschen book, the tarot. So these aren't new to most of you. These are gorgeous reference books from the Library of Esoterica. I have the plant one and now I have the tarot one. The other two are on my list. I would like to get them, but good things come to those who wait. So tarot went onto my list and the other ones will go at another point in time. And this again is a sort of reference book of tarot cards and things through history. There is some information. So Alchemy of Self. And then you've got part one, Stepping into the Oblivion. And it runs through the cards of the deck as well. So you have information and then every so often you get references to images that we're sort of familiar with. We've got early decks and iconography. So most of us will be very familiar with these Visconti Sforza decks from the 1400s. This is a Mantegna deck from, again, this one's said to be from the 1400s. We have the Solar Busca from 1400s, which is what the RWS is said to be based on. Is that right? Solar Busca? I think you'll see images from this here and that. And I think that one appears in the library in London. So yeah, goes through some cards. What's nice about this actually is I recognise, I think you will, some of the cards in the book, and I also have the decks. So it's quite cool to see cards that I own, or decks that I own in the book. So here we have like a plethora of temperance cards. Look at that one. And that one's really cool. Love the colours. And information about it. And I am, of course, going backwards. So there's some reference information in the book as well about the card. Here we have the death cards. I think it's this one where we have... I like that one. I'm not sure what that one is. Let's look that one up. Is it Scaponi, maybe? Or clockwise from top left. Spain. Peter Dunham. Pagan Otherworlds. Yeah. Luigi Scapini. The Medieval Scapini Tarot. I like that card. I don't know what the rest of the deck looks like, but that's obviously one I'm probably going to have to go and look up. Classic deck. Again, Margaret Peterson, another classic deck. I never got this deck. I don't know why, because I really like it and I keep seeing it around and I wish I had. So I'm not even sure if it's available anymore. And this deck is just amazing as well. So I think that's a Star Tarot. Yeah, Star Tarot. So yeah, there we go. So that is the book of tarot from Taschen. Let's say I have the plant book. I've had that for a while, and I will at some point get the other two books in this series, because I think they're just lovely, again, items to flick through for inspiration. But they aren't small books. These are not small books. These are going to weight a shelf down. 519 pages long. So, but very well made. So got that one. I did finally get this one, which was on my list. So of course it is the Magical Botanical Oracle. This is the one I wish I'd bought, and I didn't accidentally, I was swayed. I bought the Herbal Astrology instead and regretted it ever since I wish I got this one. Now I've got this one, I can't make up my mind. I don't know how I feel about this one completely yet, but I've fully played with it. Sorry, drinking my drink. So it's been edged in red. I've written all over it because I do not need the Latin names on the deck. So I've written what I want onto the deck. And I've also put the book away, because it's packed with information. So if I need the information, I'll pull it out to read. But it is one hefty book about plants and things. I have not read the start of it. I started and kind of got really bored because my attention span at the moment is not particularly good. So I got very bored going through the start of it. And then once you get here, you got like a beautiful picture. So this is about the size I wish the cards were. It would have been nice, but they're not. They're a lot smaller. So you could really just have the book if you wanted the book for the information and not want the cards. But you've got like beautiful information. So you got this. It tells you then you have the Latin name is in the book for the plant, which is why I don't need it on the card as well, because I've got the English and the Latin name. We have the plants, Venus and Saturn, planetary association, sorry. And then we have the element. So for Angel's Trumpet, it's air. And again, I think they are within, yeah, so they are within the card anyway. And what you get is the magical meaning. You get the plant spirit medicine. So if you want the spirit medicine, or you want to, you know, for crafting and herbal reasons, so you got those bits there. Then you have your divination meaning upright and divination meaning reversed. Then you get an affirmation. So there's plenty of information in there. But I'm not currently looking to memorize these cards and know about all of these meanings. So this is good for the meanings and what's going on when you're at that point in your practice. And what I've done is I've gone through the cards and written the information that I want on the card, so I don't have to go and get the book out. So Angel's Trumpet is trust the process of change. I'll bring you down. So we'll just quickly go through. What do we have here? So Belladonna, we do have the Latin name there, which is a lot smaller and a lot less in your face. And then you'll see that I've put here see-through illusions, if I'll focus. So it does say see-through illusions in gold writing there. There's only 3 black cards in the deck. I haven't looked at what the reason is for that. There's 3 and the rest are this kind of colour. Some have red highlighting, hence the reason why I've gone for red on the edges. So for the bleeding heart, I've put open your heart, release all pain. For Calla Lily, which is a harmony card, so balance and harmony, personal empowerment, and it's also about, you know, when we talk about harmony as well, we've also got like the seduction, the sultriness of, you know, human nature really. We have the Camellia, which is gratitude and humility. I enjoy the world and all I have. For Cannabis, I have written onto the bottom, open, connected, playful, let down your rigid defenses. There you go. So success goals coming into fruition, be joyful, strong and shine for Dandelion. It also, I've written here for the bits, so the leaves mean cleansing, the little blowy bits mean dreams and travel, and the root of the problem, if it's the roots that you're focusing on. Then we have the Dragon Tree. So I am strong, powerful and taking action in my life, confidence. Then we have I am part of the enchanted world, interconnectivity. For our Hellebore, we have stillness, reflection, meditation, alone time, shadow work, healing time. Oh, I can't remember what this one is. It's not on the card, is it? Oh well. Anyway, this one is face the situation head on. Pay attention to your dreams to get unstuck. And I have the keys to my freedom. This is, I know it's linked to, is it the Santa Muerta? Hence the sugar skull. Then we have, this one is about perspective, ancestral gifts, attitudes within awakened. Holly, protection is needed. So pay attention to your dreams for help from harm and from self, because we can harm ourselves as well. Ivy, good luck and abundance. I'm rooted in the blessings of my life. Although ivy here means poison, so. Lavender, pause, calm, centered, peaceful, task in hand. Love lies bleeding. I haven't seen this. I need to look it up. So this is temporary isolation to heal as part of the process. For the Mandrake is esoteric knowledge and exploration. I am a magical creature capable of anything. For the Moonflower, finding your own way and rhythm, a march to your own beat. For the Oak, I have written facing challenges, I know my own strength. With the Poppy, rest and regeneration is essential to my health. Find your creative sense. For the Rose, I always link Rose to Earth connection, but I've just written some keywords. We have love, beauty and harmony. It's also Mother Earth as well for me, would be Rose. Rue is take precaution, protect life's blessings from harm. Clarity for Sincere Violet, Sorceress Violet, sorry. Remain grounded as you experience new things. I have the Sunflower, written here is joy, cheer, health, wealth, success. Embody your brightest self. I think that's a beautiful card. I love the yellow. Pop. I stand noble in my own power, confidence, security and strength for Thistle. For the Thorn Apple, I've put pay attention to your dreams. With the Vine, I've written at the top law of attraction. So I'm open to blessings and inspirations of life. With the Willow, flexibility, adaptation, changing as needed in the circumstances presenting in front of you. For the Wolfsbane, I've written challenges, and then I am spiritual warrior. Wormwood, we have purify self from toxic influences, boundaries and protection. So that could also be like, you know, mood hoovers and vampires. For 31, I've written protect From harm, open to possibility. Life laundry may be needed, and that's life laundry. I've written that as in all things in life laundry. So belongings, clear out, friendships, relationship, just people cluttering up your life, cluttering up your friends list, cluttering up your phone books. Are they all meant to be there? Is it time for a shake-up? With the you, what are you not seeing or hearing? Align yourself with your foundation. So we have Hecate in this card. So yeah, what are you not seeing and hearing? What are you refusing? So what are you turning a blind eye to that you shouldn't be? And for the Witch's Garden, I have written presence and manifestation. The universe is listening to you. So you need to be aware of what you're manifesting. And that is listening to you, is what I'm saying in that card. So that is how I have interpreted the kind of bits from the book and written them onto the cards. So those are my understandings, my interpretations of what's going on in the book onto the card. So I can just use them as a pick-up oracle deck. And as I said, edged in red. So I shall see how I get on with this one. But beautiful images. And if you're wanting to know more about the herbs, then yeah, obviously anything that's got Christopher Penzac in it is a wealth of knowledge anyway, and of course Maxine Miller. So the art is just phenomenal. The detail, attention to detail, absolutely amazing. My only request would be that they put some of those affirmations onto the card instead of the Latin words. But you know, I'm sure I would say that and somebody else would say something different. So you can never please us all, can you? So I got that one. And last but not least, a hand lettering book for inspiration. You know what this one's for. This is for my journal. So this is by Amy Larter, founder and designer of Artsy Mama, who I found a couple of, so some of the lettering I think that I've been using in my journal came from her blogs on her website. So I was quite pleased to use this, and these doodles I've definitely used. This is a workbook. I don't know that I'm going to use it as a workbook. I'm just using it for an inspiration book. So there's blank spaces in here for you to use to write. So she gives you practice over here, and the idea is you put it over here. And then there's lots of these beautifully decorated pages. So you can see why I'm using this inspiration for borders and doodles into my journal. Hands down, I've used a few already. And I quite enjoy that, you know, the simplicity sometimes. And shapes that I wouldn't normally see and draw. So it would never occur to me to draw these things. So that's why it's always good to have inspiration books to get you flowing and get you going. So I've drawn lots of these. I've drawn these. But just like getting you to blend directly on the pen. So blending brush strokes, starting small, giving you different fonts to do. So yeah, I have this one. And I've drawn that one. So if you saw my May Reflections, you would have spotted some of this in my May Reflections journal. And I had coloured it in to make it nice and bright. So yeah, so that one as well. So all in all, I think I did really well, because these things weren't expensive items per se. Put together, yes, it's quite a purchase, but it was combined birthday money. Some of mine that I saved up for my birthday, some from, like, obviously the gifts from my partner, and then my family, who had all very kindly, you know, it's a standard thing these days, isn't it? You get money. So I was able to do with as I please and spend as I saw fit, which is wonderful, because they don't need to know what I've spent it on. So I hope you enjoyed this anyway, and I will see you in the next one. And again, as I said, if you know the glyphs or the symbols in the Samiramay tarot, please drop them down below in comments so that I can have a little look and I can match them up and probably write them into my book. I'd be most grateful. So until the next one, take care. Bye bye.